Look, people are making the point that he is subservient to Israel. That's what they're trying to do. That's what, and look, again, you can feel that way. We have never had an American president, and Bibi admitted it on the stage, that he feels more supported by Trump than ever before.
That's right.
Can you dislike that?
By the way,
of course.
Let me tell you what I absolutely love about what Trump did. Oh, I can't even tell you guys. When I watch this, I'm like, listen, when you're the greatest country in the world, and when you have a lot of money, directly and indirectly, most people around you feel you like they can take something from you. What can I get from this guy, right? That are not in the inner circle. Not the inner circle. Inner circle is a very different story. Inner circle is but everybody else kind of like, let me see what I can get from here. Let me see what I can get from there, from other countries. Mm-hmm. Israel is not U.S. EU is not U.S. Any of these countries are not U.S. Relationship. Hey, Colombia did this. Panama. Yeah, we're not going to be doing this, the relationship with China. Blah, 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 blah. Of course, you need the U.S. business, and now you're allowing our naval ships to go through, which is saving us millions of dollars of fuel per year. That's what you're supposed to do, right? When he's giving this message and he throws this curveball, Bibi doesn't know what to do.
Nothing.
You can tell he had no
idea
about
no
this.
idea.
Rob, is this the clip?
So there's two clips. I don't have the isolated. This is the isolated version of Bibi's reaction. But do you want Trump making the announcement and then we play Bibi's?
Is this with the announcement?
You can hear it very lowly in the background.
Okay, does the other one have what Trump says?
Yes.
Okay, play the other one. Watch this.
The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip, and we will do a job with it, too. We'll own it. And be responsible for dismantling all of the dangerous unexploded bombs and other weapons on the site, level the site and get rid of the destroyed buildings, level it out, create an economic development that will supply unlimited numbers of jobs and housing for the people of the area. Do a real job, do something different. Just can't go back. If you go back, it's going to end up the same way it has for 100 years.
Yep. So now go play the clip with his reaction. Watch this.
The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip, and we will do a job with it, too. We'll own it and be responsible for dismantling all of the dangerous unexploded bombs and other weapons on the site, level the site and
get rid of the you're not comfortable.
Buildings, level it out, create an
Is this the same guy that pulled out my chair?
He pulled it out from under him.
For the people of the area. Do a real job. Do something different.
Look at that. He's looking because he does not know he's going to be saying that.
No, of course. I don't think anybody knew Trump was going to be saying that. It wasn't what was written for him. He had just said the language where he's like, yeah, everybody's going to have to be part of this thing and doing it. And then he says it. I'm supposed to have his hostage envoy, who's his Middle East envoy, come on my show right after this. I get a call. Really sorry. I got to go into an emergency meeting. I got to go. I got to go in. I can't talk to you right now. I have nothing to say about this. This is what Trump does, okay? Now, what I don't like about it is, and I got killed for this last night, and that's okay. Anybody who heard this, and certainly anybody in my business, knows that Trump was going off the cuff and saying something that was never going to be official U.S. policy. But everybody played it to advantage. On Fox, they started saying what a good idea this is. Yeah. And then on MSNBC, you got Joy Reid, who's an outrage. This is ethnic cleansing. Both of these entities knew that Trump was just riffing, right? Yeah. But it works for their agendas. And that's the problem with our whole dialogue. God forbid you say anything that shakes it up and makes something happen and you get attacked from both sides. I don't see Trump as the problem on this one. Yes, he said something that nobody wants. Levitt came out right away and said, no boots on the ground, and we're not paying for it. Well, that's not what he suggested. Yeah, I know. But that's the difference between official statement and when he's just pushing the envelope and riffing.
And I think everybody jumped on. I agree with you on a couple very key points there. And one of the things that people jumped on, he said, we're going to own Gaza. That's not what he said. Listen to what he said in full context. We're doing a very good job there. We're going to do a good job, and we'll own it. What he's talking about is when somebody says, you know what, I'm going to clean up that mess. I'm going to own it. I'll take care of it. It doesn't mean that you're taking possession and like physical, legal tacit ownership of it. That's not what he was saying. He was in the middle of a riff, but even in the middle of the riff, saying we're going to own it didn't mean that we're going to make it like Puerto Rico or Guam or a 51st state. No, that's not what he said, but it was a riff, and everybody jumped on those angles.
I like that.
But guess what?
That.
You know what? It's because they have no other news and they have no other position.
I have one thing that I love about this. Adam, I'll give my thoughts.
Yeah, well, is this idea completely out there? Is it outrageous? Is it completely preposterous? Yes, but is it the best idea I've heard so far? Straight up, yes, it is. Because you know how Winston Churchill said, democracy is the worst form of government except for all the others that have been tried? Show me an idea that has been proposed that is actually possible. Show me an idea. Because all the ideas that I've heard are the river to the sea chant. I've heard the global intifada chant. I've heard the two-state solution that has basically been hinging on nothingness since for the last 75 years and has not happened.
Where the second
whatsoever.
state gets a headquarters in Jerusalem.
Yeah, exactly.
Good
So
point.
what viable solutions have even ever been proposed? Nothing. So what they basically said, what he didn't show here was Gaza could and should be a Middle East paradise. I believe he called it the Riviera of the Middle East. It could be what Singapore is in Asia. It could be what Dubai is. It could be what literal Tel Aviv is. If you've ever been to Tel Aviv, it is literal paradise. It's like if New York met Miami on the beach. It's incredible. Gaza could be that. But instead, Hamas and the Palestinians have squandered billions and billions and billions of dollars by building down instead of building up. Their tunnel infrastructure is bigger than the New York tunnel system. Are you kidding me? So they've taken billions of dollars that have been given to them, and they built basically a terror network. So, and it's the same vicious cycle. They start a war, they lose a war, they cry foul, they sacrifice their martyrs, and they get they wait a few years, and then they do it all over again. And then the last point is this: the Jordanians don't want them, the Egyptians don't want them. They forget that Egypt has a border right next to them. They're not taking them in. The Lebanese don't want them. The
Well,
Syrians
they
don't want
have
them. Why don't
millions and
anyone take
millions
them
of
in?
Palestinians
It's 'cause they don't want the
already. So do
jihadists coming into their
Israelis.
country.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yes.
There have been problems with the population.
People don't forget
Vinny.
that there's 2 million Palestinian Arabs that live in Israel. Say that again? What do you mean they live in Israel? Yeah, they're Israeli citizens. Every single country in the Middle East has basically kicked out all the Jews and they've moved to Israel. But Israel has absorbed 2 million Arabs. So why don't the other Arab countries take in the Palestinians? Unfortunately, is because no one wants them.
Vinny.
I don't know why.
At the same, it's a no-win. Listen, no-win situation, plain and simple. The only problem is the non-jihad terrorists, just the regular Palestinians that had to leave because Gaza was going to be leveled, and we knew it was coming. What are they going to come back to? Are they going to be able to come back to their home? Meaning, hold on, there's no more Hamas. Everybody's gone. The leadership has changed. Do I get to come back to my house that was leveled? I lost my son. I lost my daughter. Me and my wife are still here. Can I come back? If they're going to rebuild and make a high-rise Trump Tower, can we get an apartment in there? Because my home was here. That's the only problem that I'm saying is, and I get it. People are like, they won't take them and they won't take them. Wait a minute. That's their home. They shouldn't have, nobody should have to take them. They should be able to come back home. And I think if you're going to rebuild and make it nice, I should be able to come back and live where I was
Look, that
living.
was the message that Trump articulated before he started riffing.
Yeah.
And now I'm told after the fact
What?
that the motivation here was the Arab community has to step up. They call the Palestinians brothers all the time until it's time to pay or to play. And if
What do
they
you
don't
think about that?
if they don't step up, it's 100% true.
Okay.
If they don't step up and pay for, you don't want them in your country, you think you have enough, that's fine. Pay, because there's no reason for America to pay for it.
Yeah.
And look, what also doesn't work, and this won't be as popular, Israel being in control of that as an occupied territory doesn't work. So you need an international consortium there to make it work until it can establish itself as a standalone entity. And if Trump provokes that through this, then fine. But the idea that America is going to put boots on the ground, there's going to be ethnic cleansing, you're not allowed to come back, I think all of that is just to motivate left and right in proving which one is worse, and it's not the reality.
It's called art of the deal. He's starting with something, and then we'll see where it ends up.
Yep.
Pat, you were going to say something?
I think it's a little bit of that, to be honest with you. I think it's a little bit more than a little bit the art of the deal. I think Trump knows exactly what he's doing. He may have been riffing a little bit. I think he's got underlying thoughts. And to Chris's point, hours, not days, hours after the election, when it was time to pay or play, what did Qatar say?
Yeah.
Qatar. It's like, congratulations on your victory. And then they turn around, look over their shoulder and say, all of you Arab Brotherhood that are here, your visas are expired in 14 days, get out. Because Qatar's like, okay, Mr. President, Mr. New President, congratulations. We're good. And we don't have any of those guys.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, guess what? Those people were legal immigrants that were living in Qatar. But when it was time to pay or play, what did they do?
You know,
Bye.
this is a very simple thing. When it's like, hey, if you guys want to stay quiet and you want to defend them, it was similar to what Kyle from Nelk Boys did, where he said, hey, are you about the open border? He says, yes, it should be open border. And, Trump, he's going to be kicking people out. This is their country. And what's wrong with that and open borders? They say, man, we're so glad you feel this way. We have 20 illegal immigrants on the bus right there.
Brilliant.
That we would like to bring into your house since you agree. No, they can't come in. No, you agreed because let them come into your house.
Yeah.
And we think this is a great idea. So they got caught, Vinny. That's the challenge. They got caught knowing they don't want it.
Yes.
So now, to me, there's a part of it where it's kind of like, okay, go visualize U.S. has a, whatever you want to call it. What do you call that land if we take it over?
Occupied?
We occupy Gaza. Let's just say. I'm just guys. This is spitballing, guys. Don't jump to conclusion. Let's build it into Dubai. Do we have the money to do it? Sure. Is the guy a real estate guy that can do it? Sure. Did Jared Kushner talk about how beautiful the water?
Yes.
Yes. But then you build that. They come back. They don't know how to handle that. They don't know. It's like a lottery winner. You give what percentage of lottery winners after they win become drug
Huge
addicts,
percent.
destroyed, divorce. They don't. It's not, your money.
It's suicide.
The identity is not there. It destroys lives. So if you do and they don't come back, that's the only way it'll work. But then if you do and they don't come back, are you kidding me? The stuff you're gonna have to react to. Is this a top 5 issues? Is it top 10 issues? I don't know. However, what I love about what he did is the following. Here's what I love about what Trump did. Netanyahu, and especially him, his mindset, when you're that smart, you think you can outsmart everybody. Okay? And it's kind of like, he's on our side and he's this, he's that, he's this. I don't think he's on Netanyahu's side. I think Trump is on the Israeli people's side. I think Trump is on Israel as a nation side. I don't think Trump's on the political gamification, power brokers behind closed doors side. I don't think he's on that side. And the best part about being a great general and a leader is you need 2 things, and it's so hard to balance. You need an element of being very predictable. You need an element of being very unpredictable. As a parent, it's great as well. You also need to be like this as a husband. You need to be predictable. Your kids need to see you there. Okay, I'm there. Boom. Hey, boom. I'm here. This is what's going on. This is food, schedule, reading, this. They need a element of predictable. But then kids sometimes get so comfortable with daddy, they're like, oh, there's boom. Oh, shit. Oh, he's still in there. No matter how much I love you and I kiss you, that guy's still in here. It's like, oh, okay. So every 90 days, this needs to be seen a little bit, right? Trump is dancing with Netanyahu. Come on in. Let me pull the chair for you. Oh, on the big stage. Let me make you feel like the king. So yeah, here's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be taking over Gaza, and then we didn't talk about that. Yeah, and it's going to be great, and here's what. That's the beautiful part about him being unpredictable. You gotta love